2 years ago, we put in the initiative of our learning logs. We brought that into school because we thought it was a very important home link, that parents could see where their children, what their targets were, how they were learning. And it wasn't till after a year down the line we always review and think, well, what could we do next? And it was the teachers that said we should be looking at their growth mindset attitudes in the course, because that's one way we can get that message as well of what's happening in school, along with parents' nights and class dojo and all the other different communications we have. So as a staff, we looked and thought, well, let's use the cogs and let's use our A4 poster and growth mindset so that there's that continuity of what's been seen at home and what's been seen at school. So we adapted our learning log to have that printed in our learning log. And also we then thought, well, we're looking at pupils' learning, well, language, numeracy, health and well-being. However, we should be given, well, what learning, what growth mindset attitude has made the most to you this term, and getting the children to then reflect on their learning. And that's been added in as well, and they do that on a termly basis. It might be a different cog, they get the choice of what's made the most to themselves. So we don't tell them, well, this term we're going to be looking at, if I practice I'll get better. So they choose which one means the most to them, and they write about it and they put it in their book, and then that then stimulates the conversation at home. Well, what's happened at school and why are you seeing that? And again, then the parents can look at and think, reiterate that message when they're at home. So that's how we've adapted it, and it's even gone into reports home this year, because what we're looking at is staff again have come and said, well, let's look at the growth mindset language into our reports. How can we make sure that when the parents are reading the reports, we're talking about practicing, we're talking about effort, because again, if the parents can be using that praise language at home, look and think, well, look at the effort you've put in, you've challenged yourself, you've maybe failed, but let's look and see what you need to do to make yourself better. Then again, that's always going to help the learner.